Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Guys, in a world where diplomacy often walks the tightrope between morality and strategy, every international decision echoes far beyond the room in which it's made. And in this week, that echo has come from the Washington, where President Donald Trump made a stunning announcement that is already sending ripples across the globe. The United States is lifting all the major sanctions on Syria. That's right. After more than a decade of isolation, economic embargoes, and diplomatic condemnation, the doors to Damascus are being swung open again. This move isn't just a policy shift, it's a geopolitical earthquake. Syria, a nation torn apart by the civil war, accused of war crimes, and deeply entangled in the interest of Russia and Iran, is now being invited back into the international community by none other than the President Donald Trump itself. But why now? Why Syria? And what does this mean for America, for the Middle East, and for the world today? In today's video, we are going to unpack the motivations, the implications, and the reactions to this bold, controversial, and history making decision. So, guys, let's dive into the story behind the headline. Let's first see the Trump's announcement. On May 13, 2025, President Trump stood before a packed press room and declared that the time for rebuilding has come. Flanked by his national security team and with the Saudi ambassador standing quietly in the background, he announced a full rollback of the US economic sanctions on Syria. He described Syria as a country full of potential and praised its new leadership, referring to Ahmed Al-Sharaa, the recently installed Syrian president who replaced Bashar al-Assad after internal power struggles and pressure from both Russia and regional players. What was the Trump's exact words? It was Syria can be great again. The announcement came in tandem with the reveal of staggering $142 billion arms deal with Saudi Arabia, a longtime US ally and a key player in Middle Eastern politics. While the White House claims these two events are unrelated, critics and analysts see a clear pattern, one that suggests a new axis of power is being forged, one where authoritarian regimes can gain legitimacy if the geopolitical math makes sense for the Washington. So, guys, why this at all matters? To understand how monumental this move is, we have to revisit the context. Since the outbreak of the Syrian civil war in 2011, the US has imposed a web of sanctions on Syria, targeting its government, economy, and military apparatus. These measures were designed to punish the Assad regime for human rights abuses, chemical attacks, and war crimes. Over 4 lakh lives have been lost in the conflict. Entire cities were flattened, millions were displaced, and the Assad regime, with support from Russia and Iran, maintained its grip through brutal force. So, lifting sanctions isn't just a matter of trade, it's a matter of principle. It sends a message that after all the destruction, Syria is being welcomed back into the international fold. And more importantly, it raises a question: is the US abandoning its moral high ground in favor of realpolitik? Trump's administration argues that the move is forward looking. They say Syria is under the new leadership. They claim Ahmed Al-Sharaa represents a break from the past, and they insist that this new path will bring the peace, stability, and reconstruction to the region. But skeptics aren't buying it. Some see this as a transactional decision, part of a broader Middle Eastern deal brokered behind closed doors, where arms, oil, and influence are the real currency. So, guys, let's see the world reactions. The international response has been explosive. The European Union, which still mentions sanctions on Syria, expressed concerns that lifting US restrictions could undermine accountability and embolden war criminals. Human rights groups have condemned the decision, calling it as a betrayal of Syrian victims who still await the justice. Russia, unsurprisingly, welcomed this move, President Putin called it as a pragmatic step towards regional harmony. Iran's response was more cautious. They support Syria's re entry into the global economy but fear losing influence if US backed force gain ground. Saudi Arabia, on the other hand, is ecstatic. Not only they are stealing one of the biggest arm deals in modern history, but they also stand to benefit immensely from the reconstruction contracts and infrastructure projects that will now pour into Syria. And within the US, the political battle lines are already being drawn. Senate Democrats are furious. Senator Chuck Schumer has announced a blockade on Justice Department appointments until more transparency is provided on Trump's foreign dealings, particularly allegations that a private Qatari jet rumored to be offered to Trump as a gifted Air Force One may have influenced the decision making process. Meanwhile, Trump's supporters are hailing the move as a masterstroke proof of his America First doctrine, which they argue doesn't shy away from tough decisions if they serve US interest. So guys, where does this all leave us? Is the lifting of sanctions a step towards a peace or a page ripped out of a corrupt diplomatic playbook? Is Syria truly on the path to reform under Ahmed Al-Sharaa, or is this just a rebranded dictatorship in a new suit? Only time will tell us. But one thing is certain, this decision is not just about Syria. It's about what kind of power the United States want to be, a beacon of human rights and accountability, or a deal maker in a world ruled by strategy or principle. For now, President Trump is betting on the latter, and in doing so, he is reshaping not just for American foreign policy but the very moral compass by which it is judged. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think lifting sanctions on Syria is the right move, or is this a dangerous gamble with the long term consequences? So, guys, if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's following the world politics closely. We will be back with the more deep dives on global issues, cutting through the headlines to bring you the full picture. Until next time, stay informed, stay thoughtful, stay curious, and I will see you in the next video.